Once any active infestations have been eliminated, it's time to take steps to keep the problem from recurring. Since they are prey animals, rodents avoid exposed areas where they are vulnerable to predators, such as owls and foxes. Keep grass mowed to 3 inches or less on as much of the property as possible to discourage rodents from migrating from surrounding cover. Intercept migrating rodents with a protective perimeter of outdoor bait stations around buildings and other man-made structures, such as feed storage bins. Spacing will depend on which areas are more prone to rodent migration from surrounding cover or infested sites. For example, large populations of rodents can develop in nearby cornfields or infested neighboring farms. Bait stations on the adjacent side of the building may be spaced 20 to 30 feet apart. If there is little risk of migration, consider placing stations 50 feet apart. Elevate materials and equipment stored outdoors to discourage rodent nesting. Place bait stations next to or under stored materials to intercept any rodents that may try to harbor there. A 3-foot wide rock perimeter around the exterior of buildings will discourage rat and mouse burrowing. If potential rodent cover is less than 100 feet from the building or other man-made structure, install a perimeter of bait stations at the edge of that cover to intercept rodents as far from the structure as possible. Always read and follow product label directions. Rodents usually feed at night. Never allow spilled feed to lay on the ground overnight. Feed bins and garbage dumpsters should be on concrete pads and protected by well-maintained bait stations. It is probably next to impossible to completely exclude rodents from agricultural structures, but it is possible to make access more difficult for them. Focus on openings at or near ground level for Norway rats and mice. Focus on openings at the roof line for roof rats and mice. To enter a structure, adult mice need a hole that is about 1/2 inch in diameter. Roof rats need a hole that is about 1.4 inches in diameter, and Norway rats need a 1.6-inch hole. Keep in mind that rodents, especially roof rats and mice, will use vertical structural elements such as electrical conduits, screening, and curtain cables to climb from the ground to the soffit with ease. They can also climb vertical surfaces which have a rough texture. The symptoms caused by anticoagulant rodenticides may not take effect for several days, so rodents will continue to eat the bait past the point of a lethal dose. As discussed earlier, rodents have tremendous reproduction potential. If a baiting program is only eliminating a portion of migrating rodents once a month, they will be replaced by new pups before the next bait application. It is critical to have sufficient rodenticide in each bait station so there is enough to allow every rodent to eat its fill. Rodents leave their scent wherever they travel. They are likely to be attracted to bait stations that have already been visited by other rodents. When cleaning bait stations, remove spoiled or moldy rodenticide and sweep out dirt and debris with a small brush. Wash them only if necessary to address food safety or germ concerns. If multiple consecutive outdoor bait stations are completely emptied soon after filling, consider 2 possibilities. There may be more rodents in the area than previously estimated. A non-target animal, such as a raccoon, is raiding the bait stations. A well-placed trail camera will help determine the actual cause. If it is a raccoon, use an appropriately sized live trap baited with marshmallows to trap and then relocate the raider. If it is rodents, consider putting more bait in the stations, adding more stations, or restocking them more often. To keep migrating rodents out of buildings, start by installing rodent-resistant door sweeps on all doors and then keep them closed when not in use. Declutter interior storage areas. Store materials up off the floor, high enough to facilitate cleaning, inspecting and baiting, or trapping underneath. Fix feed line leaks. Consider rerouting feed lines which run through attics. Place traps and bait stations where rodents are likely to travel closely to them. Do not expect rodents to go even a few feet out of their way from a known food source to visit a bait station. Areas of significant importance that should definitely be protected by bait stations include cool cells and doors, inside and outside, break rooms, mechanical or feed rooms, storage rooms, workrooms, and workshops. In review, to reduce the risk of rodent infestation in your facility, make your entire property as inhospitable to rodents as possible. Make your buildings as rodent-resistant as possible. Choose the best method or material to kill rodents depending on the situation. Place traps or bait stations as close as possible to rodent activity areas and as close to their nest as possible. Use enough rodenticide to assure an uninterrupted supply from one service to the next and/or restock them more often. Manage the risks to children, pets, and wildlife. Again, always read and follow label directions. For more information, contact your Liphatech sales representative or visit liphatech.com.